Okay, good morning to everyone. Myself, Hutesh Bhaviskar from the faculty of the Parul Polytechnic Institute, Parul University. I welcome you all for the today's webinar on topic how to create a motivated mindset to become confident, powerful, and independent. Our today's speaker is Ms. Tina Shah. Ms. Tina Shah is the CEO of the Dynamic Training Institute, a famous leading training academy for the personal and professional skills. Tina Shah ma'am is with a degree in business management and marketing from the America. Ms. Tina has global training and experience in business. Also have a career that has provided with 25 years of experience in various fields. She has taught corporate and personal skill to thousands of the people globally in order to help them become successful. She has been honored by the many private and academic institutes for her contribution to the lives of the students and professionals. Her expertise in the work culture, including sales, presentation, communication, team building, and customer service, she helped companies become more productive to reach their goals, create a larger vision, and more productive teams. Throughout her extensive knowledge and experience, she has taught public speaking to other more than the 5,000 students around the globe, and these students attribute her for their success and currently hold the important position in many industries and corporate levels. On the behalf of the Parul University, I welcome Ms. Tina Shah ma'am for the webinar to give us such a motivation for our today's topic.
Okay. Thank you so much, Hitesh. I really appreciate you inviting me here and making the effort to have the people at Parul University, the students as well as the faculty, have a chance to understand more about why it's important to have a positive mindset. So I really appreciate the fact that you thought of me. I really appreciate the fact that there are people that are interested in this topic and you feel that that is of value. The reason I chose this topic, everyone, is because people don't really understand when we hear about positive mindset, we hear about optimism, we hear about, thinking positive, thinking in the right way, look at the bright side. But people don't understand the impact of why looking at the bright side, why being positive, why being optimistic is extremely important. So today what I will be doing is covering about what the positive mindset entails, as well as how we can program ourselves to become much more positive, and more than positive, how we can become much more productive simply by controlling our mindset. Because whether you're a student, whether you're working, whether you're a parent, whether you're a child, how you think determines how you act. How you act, therefore, determines what you become. And so it's extremely important for us to understand, first and foremost, how our mind works. Second, what the programming behind our mind is. And then third, it is also important of how we can reprogram ourselves. If something doesn't work for us, it doesn't mean we are broken. Just like in a computer, it is not important to worry about what program is glitching it up. What is important is to concentrate on figuring out A, the program that's glitching things up, and B, now how we can remedy that. So today I'll be talking to you about that. Once again, Hitesh, thank you so much for thinking of me and having me here. I really appreciate it. I've heard wonderful things about Parul University, about the awards you guys have won, so I'm double enthusiastic for being here. So I'll get started with my presentation. Hitesh, are you expecting more people, or should I just go ahead and start?
You can start. You can start.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to go ahead, and since we only have a few people right now and other people will be joining later, may I ask everyone to just write, if they have any questions right off the bat, to go ahead and write whatever is on their mind, why they're here, and then I will make sure that I cover that as well. And Hitesh, you're also welcome to go ahead and write any questions you have or anything that you want to know. So I will be presenting the presentation now. It is called a motivated mindset. When we are looking at our mindset, when we are looking at how we think, when we're looking at how we're programmed, how we're making decisions, how we interact with other people. I will also be covering today about how other people have an impact on how we think. What people don't understand is the influence of the others around us has an impact on our mindset. you hang out with motivated people, you are going to learn to become motivated, as well as you will feel motivated. So today I'll be talking about a motivated and positive mindset. And I wanted to first start off and introduce myself a little. My name is Tina Shah, as you know. I am the CEO of Dynamic Training Institute. It is one of the largest institutes in the city. And my background is that, as you can tell from my accent, I'm from America. I've been in India for the last 7 years. And the reason we came here was because of business opportunity. My husband is the head of global R&D for Health Corporation. And we had the opportunity to learn to embrace the Indian culture. I grew up, I have a family of over 100 people in America. We've lived there for over 70 years. And I'm a very adventurous person, shall we say. So I believe in taking the bull by the horns. That is also part of a motivated and positive mindset. So I do practice what I preach, just so you guys know. My background is vast and diversified. I have been working since I was 16 years old in customer service. I have worked for a stock brokerage firm. I worked for a restaurant. This is all while I was a teenager. And then I've worked as a program, a project manager. I've worked as a program director. I have worked as a customer service manager. I've worked as an insurance agent. I've owned my own businesses, several of them. So I have a diversified background simply because it matches my personality, where I like to try new things. I get very enthusiastic and motivated when there is something new to learn. So today I'll be talking about why learning is also very important, trying new skills, learning new things, why they are so important. So I do corporate training and I coach executives one-on-one, including of major banks and major corporations. I'm a motivational speaker, so often you will hear me use the word motivation, those kind of things. I coach students as well as adults and executives about leadership skills. And the leadership skills that I teach are not just about leading a team, but they are more about leading yourself first, about the right habits, about the right thinking, about the right patterns, about the right programming. I obviously teach in my corporate training. I teach the soft skills that are needed. I teach even for students, for college, one of our programs at Dynamic Training is the College to Corporate module, which is all about teaching you not just the soft skills, but also about the really nitty-gritties of getting down and learning about interview skills, placements, about what you are supposed to prepare in order to become really successful in the corporate world. So even the Institute is very diverse because I believe that the more we learn, the more platforms we create to learn ourselves, but to also teach others so that they can become much better in their lives, is what my purpose in life is. I was lucky enough to find a purpose in the job, in the work that I do, and I love. We also do Model United Nations. I don't know if you are familiar with Model United Nations. It's a debate type competition. We have the largest one in the city. We're the second largest organization of its kind in the country. And it is a platform where you will learn leadership skills, you will learn public speaking skills, you will learn how to work with others. So a lot of colleges from all over the city take part in this. And of course, we have a leadership symposium where my public speaking kids are given an opportunity to become now professional speakers on stage. So we do a lot of things here, just like Parul University has done so much in their history. We try to keep it really fun and exciting by creating new platforms, by learning, by teaching. So that's our little story. And my journey is basically that I grew up in the United States. I have had the blessed opportunities to be able to learn in different parts of the business world. I have been very blessed to have the kind of opportunities, the kind of people, and the support system that I have, including the fact that Hitesh thought of me and invited me to be here. So my journey has been that of a lot of blessings, opportunities, support, and a crazy amount of love that sometimes I'm overwhelmed with. The Institute was created in order to become the one of its kind largest training institute for skills in the country. So let's get started about how all of us together can work about having a motivated and positive mindset. So mindset is basically, it's the way we think, it is the way we orient ourselves, it is the way we make decisions, it is the way we handle situations, and how do we go about changing things in our lives for good or bad? And why do I say that? Because as much as we talk about having a motivated, positive mindset, unfortunately, there are people that do not understand this or have not had the opportunity to learn to have this kind of mindset. And so therefore, some of their decisions become hindering in their lives. They become detrimental in their lives. Think to the people that you know personally, where they will find a problem in any solution you give. Know people like that? If in Gujarati we say, if I point out the moon to you, you will criticize my finger. They have that kind of a mindset. And so what is happening around the world right now during the pandemic, during this massive change that none of us had anticipated, much less prepared for, what is happening around the world is all of a sudden what we knew to be true, what we held dear, what was our comfort zone has now changed rapidly and massively. And there are a lot of people that are struggling to be able to work with those circumstances. Suicide rates have gone up. Depression rates have gone up. India is one of the most brilliant countries in the world. India churns out more scholars than you can even imagine. And yet India is rated one of the most depressed countries in the world. So somewhere along the line, our mindset is becoming completely different than the way it should have been in order for us to embrace the kind of success that Indian people put value in. And so once again, I am really happy that Hitesh thought of having this topic for you guys and having me come and explain this to you guys for the simple fact that every single one of us is now trying to work through the changes, trying to work through the things that we never anticipated, much less prepared for. And every single one of us have had an impact on our mindset, positive, negative. We have started to discover new layers of ourselves, I hope. We have started to discover some parts of our lives that are working, some parts of our lives that are not working. We are now starting to also realize that spending time with ourselves is basically spending time inside our own head. And at times people find that scary. They find their own company scary. And the reason being is because their thoughts scare them. Their mind scares them. Today I'm going to help you figure out how to build the kind of mindset where you enjoy your decisions, your thinking, but you also enjoy being with yourself, where you can have those kind of positive conversations with yourself, even if nobody else is having those with you. Now, where does our programming and our mindset come from? Often, programming and mindset comes from the time when we are children. When we are children, it is said that children, by the time they reach about 4 years old, have heard the word no more than 10,000 times. And yet they have heard the word yes only a few hundred times. is it any wonder that we as human beings struggle with having a motivated and positive mindset? We hear, don't touch that, don't pick that up, don't do this, don't talk like that. And so over time, we start to emphasize the don'ts a lot more than the do's for even ourselves. So today we're going to work on how to create more of what we should be doing and not so much as what we shouldn't be doing, what isn't working. We're going to learn to concentrate on what builds us more than anything. So let's say we were children. I come from a family that is all about overachieving, okay? All about overachieving. A family of pretty much doctors, some engineers. I'm the black sheep of the family because I do something completely different. I did 3 years of pre-med because I went to college. I finished my 12th grade and went to college in America at the age of 16. So I really was pretty clueless about what I wanted to do in life. Some of you might be nodding your head thinking, I know how that feels. But I was 16 years old. And I did 3 years of pre-med because I thought, what else would I do? And I realized that just kind of pushed me over the edge because I come from a family of doctors, and all of a sudden I realized I don't like being around sick people. I don't like being around people that are sick, people that are saying that they're sick. That's kind of a problem if you are going to become a doctor. So I realized medicine was not for me. Luckily in America, you can switch your majors. I switched my majors to business, and I've never looked back after that. I found my passion, and I found what I really wanted to do. However, because I come from a family of overachievers and we're extremely close, the overachievement part renders that there's a lot of corrections. We can say criticism, but I don't like saying that because I know it is done with love. So I'm going to say corrections, a lot of hyper corrections, as well as very high expectations. And then I'm the youngest. I'm 14 to 17 years younger than everyone. So what happened was I became everyone's project. But because I was super enthusiastic about learning and I was super optimistic about the future and my parents encouraged it, my programming became anything is possible. Yet I still sometimes struggle with that perfectionism in me. I don't like mistakes. I don't like doing something wrong. But in my leadership classes and my public speaking classes and my college to corporate, all the classes, one of the things I say is you will make mistakes and that's okay. And sometimes I have to remind myself of that as well. Because having a motivated mindset does not mean you click on a switch and that's it. You will at times have a motivated and positive mindset, and at other times you may struggle with it. That's okay too. The whole point is that if you do get lost, you find another way to get where you need to go. You don't stay lost. That's what a positive and motivated and proper mindset is. So although I came from a very large overachieving family with extremely high expectations, including I have for myself, I have learned to also calm down. I've learned to have faith. I have learned that things will work itself out. That's one of the cornerstones of having a proper mindset. So why is it important for us to have a motivated mindset? Why is it important that we have, oops, sorry, I just clicked a button that I should not have. Am I still presenting here? You guys can still see me, right? I hope.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah? Yeah. Can you still see I clicked that thing. So can you still see it though? Yeah? Okay, fantastic. All right. So why is it important that we understand that a motivated and positive mindset becomes the cornerstone of either what we gain or we lose. So, for instance, I have a few pointers here about what is the cost of negativity. Why did I put the cost of negativity before I put the benefits of positivity? Because often we as human beings emphasize so much on fear. We've been programmed about so much about fear. Remember those 10,000 no's that we hear? In order to get your attention, the cost is much more important than what the benefits will be. You'll pay more attention when I say to you that, do you know you can lose a lot of money if you have a negative mindset, and you will sit up and go, oh, you know, you'll lose a lot of friends. If you have a negative mindset, you'll think, if I said, oh, you can have a lot of friends, you can also make more money with a positive mindset, the motivated mindset. You guys will not understand it as much, maybe. I'm making an assumption. However, it is found statistically that fears often have a bigger grip on us than futures and hope and faith. We're going to try to change that today, so stay with me. At the end of the seminar also, I want to remind you that there will be a workbook that will be given to you. My team will be posting a link, and that workbook is extremely important for you to have insight into yourself. Okay? Don't gotta turn this in. This is not school or college. It will help you understand yourself better. So the cost of negativity, for instance, is, if we're talking dollars and cents here, 90% of doctors' visits being about stress and anxiety. 90%. Now imagine bringing that into the academic sphere and into the workplace, where now the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics says that negativity costs businesses more than $3 billion with a B dollars a year because of its harmful effect. That's $3 billion a year. Negativity for students has impact on your grades, obviously, has impact on how you enjoy your college experience. Negativity for students also has an impact of how you interact, not just with your faculty and your admins, but also with your colleagues, the classmates. And then what risk you will take in order to learn a new skill, to up your mindset, where you want to be placed, because often fear is what keeps us from reaching high. Fear is what keeps us in our comfort zone. It's not the limitations of skills, because skills can be learned. It's our brain, our mind that tells us, you know what, this is familiar to me. For instance, I'm a pro. I do have the pro version of Zoom, okay? I'm a pro at Zoom. Zoom does not trip me up anymore. It did when we first went online completely, but Zoom no longer trips me up at all. This is one of the very few times that I'm doing Google Meet, right? And I had to do a demo for Google Meet because, oh my God, what if, I don't remember how to do this? What if I can't find the button that says present yourself, right? So it's our fear that makes us either double check stuff, or it might say something to the effect that, you know what, I don't know how to do Google Meet, so I'm just going to tell Hitesh, I'm not the right speaker for this, because what if I mess up? What if I mess up? What if I completely blow it? And now everybody's thinking, wow, you're really one of the top people in the field and you don't know how to use Google Meet? Now, I didn't have these kind of thoughts, just so you guys know. But because remember that perfectionism that I told you I still struggle with, I understand that a lot of Indian parents would say, but that's how it should be. You should want to be perfect. No, you shouldn't. Perfectionism becomes crippling. It becomes paralyzing. It is one of the main reasons that a lot of people like me will not start new things and or finish the things that are on your plate. For instance, I'm writing a book. Well, I've written a book. See how I'm saying I'm writing a book. I've written a book, and I will not let go of that book for my team to send it out to editors and publishers. Why? Because I think I should double check it just one more time. So perfectionism, as much as you may have heard in the general sphere, that's good, that's good. I have parents, because I teach parenting as well, and I teach a lot of kids, right? I have parents that say, well, I'm okay with what results they get, so long as they give 100% in everything they do. And I have to say, nobody can give 100% in everything they do. They would die. I can't give 100% in cooking, raising my children, taking care of my dogs, being here. One thing at a time. I'm giving 100% at the time that I'm here right now. I can't be giving 100% in every single thing. I'm learning that. So when we have negative thinking, when our expectations are that we have to reach a certain goal, it becomes sometimes paralyzing. So be very careful about motivated and positive mindset, not turning into this need for complete perfectionism, where you will not let go of something because it's not perfect yet. Sometimes we miss many opportunities just because we're waiting for just the right time and just the right creation. Case in point, my book. It's time for me to let it go and let it take birth and grow. So when students have a lot of negativity, it has impact on their grades and their performance, as well as their interactions, and then obviously their placements. Sometimes I know students that will not turn in their assignments because they're scared they will be criticized. That's why a motivated and positive mindset is extremely important. Negative thinking makes employees lose a lot of customers, because you come in with a mindset they're not going to buy. They're not going to hire me. In the college to corporate model, one of the courses, one of the things that I talk about is the fact that don't go in thinking, will they hire me or not? Go in thinking about what you've achieved so far, what you can bring to the table. That's it. Do your job, do your work, and then let everything else take care of it. So in a lot of my courses, from entrepreneurship to public speaking to the college to corporate, I emphasize more about thinking and then taking the thinking into skill sets and skill sets into behavior and decision making, and then finally results. But our mindset is extremely important, because 90% of what we think ends up becoming what we do. 90% of anxiety is also caused by the 5% of your network. What do I mean by that? Ever be with people just for an hour and they're just really, really negative? They complain about the people, they complain about the university, they complain about their job, their family. And by the time you're done with that 1 hour with them, you're just exhausted. You just go, okay, my God. Ever have somebody that calls you and you look at their name and you're just tired? You're just tired before you even get started. That's the impact of negative people. Negativity has impact on our morale, our performance, our productivity as a team. It also has a huge impact on our health. It increases the chances of stroke, heart disease, stress, and at the same time, it decreases our happiness, because now we are so focused on all the negative things that we're unable to have gratitude for all the beautiful, positive things. And therefore, a lot of people that are negative end up having less friends, less relationships. The benefits, however, if we went the other way around, the benefits of a positive mindset, a motivated mindset, an optimistic mindset, is the fact that when we have optimism, hope, faith, we start to feel the kind of emotions that release the kind of hormones like endorphins that make us happier. That's why people that are really into exercising get hooked on those endorphins, and they just feel happier because they've exercised. So people that are more optimistic, more positive, more motivated end up having 10 more years added to their life because of health things. The stress decreases, the risk of heart disease, stroke, all of those decrease. A positive environment, whether it is an academic environment or a work environment, has a huge impact on the productivity level. The people that are, let's say, the salespeople that are much more positive, right, will obviously make more sales. That's why there's that proverb that says you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. Because negativity has a huge impact on your customers, on your faculty, on your colleagues, on your classmates as well. And positive leaders make much better decisions under pressure. The reason being, they're able to sort out their emotions and focus on the task at hand. The other benefits of being positive are the fact that you can now handle adversity and challenges because you have now channeled into your mind hope, faith, optimism. And those are extremely important things in order to move forward. The people that have a positive and motivated mindset also have a broader perspective. They're able to see a bigger picture. They're able to see that, okay, I will find a solution for a problem, not the other way around, but there's a problem with every solution. If I mess up, right, on Google Meets, let's say I say, can you guys see this? You guys say no, and I can't figure it out. Guess what? The broader picture is what? I know what I'm doing. I've done this hundreds of times. Instead of focusing on Google Meet, I'm focusing on the broader picture. I have the knowledge. I have the experience. I know what I'm supposed to say. Broader picture. So I wouldn't freak out over Google Meets. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. In fact, in my public speaking classes, I teach kids that, when lights go out, whatever, you should not even glitch. You shouldn't even pause. You should just keep going. I, in fact, say in my public speaking classes that even if the ceiling caves in, you will keep going. Because I'm training them for what? Focus. And it's everything will be okay. In fact, in my public speaking classes, one of the things I tell kids is, I understand that you feel you cannot give a speech. I'm here to tell you that you will. You'll give a speech and you'll give a good one. So if you don't have faith in you, have faith in me. Simple. There you go. Sometimes we just need to have faith in somebody else. We need to have faith in the facts instead of our feelings. So when we talk about positive and motivated people, they counteract the negative things that they're thinking with a broader picture. They end up having more gratitude. They're much more thankful for what is happening around them than being fearful of what can happen. Why is it extremely important that you understand that there are so many benefits, and that's why we have 3 to 4 slides just for the benefits, is because it is a beautiful world and it is a beautiful life. There are many people that say that's not true. However, that too is a matter of perspective. I say my gratitude every morning, and then I say it several times a day. I can say random things. Like when I did a demo with my team and the Google Meet worked, and I actually knew how to do it. It was like a 1-minute demo, and I went, oh my God, I know how to do this. How awesome is that? And I'm grateful that it works out that way. If it doesn't work out that way, fine. I'll figure it out. Broader picture. So gratitude is extremely important in having a motivated and positive mindset. How do you bring in gratitude? Do you need to have really huge things happen in order to have gratitude? That's what a lot of people do. And that's one of the reasons they become very disappointed and disillusioned, because bigger things don't always happen on a daily basis, but small things happen on a daily basis. It is a matter of paying attention. Some days, put your phones away and just look at a sunset. You don't have to put it up on your social media. In fact, my social media team gets very, very irritated because I am terrible about taking pictures and putting out, my stories, and I'll go someplace and they'll say, "Did you take a video?" And I'll say, "No, I forgot." Because I'm too busy experiencing things. Experience them. You don't need to worry about who sees you experiencing them. I think in this day and age, we're more worried about what other people think than about what we think. We worry more about putting our experiences out for others to validate us than for us to enjoy our experiences. Some days, just watch a sunset. You don't got to put it on your story. Gratitude, therefore, comes from the smallest of things. Your favorite pen. You found a refill for that favorite pen and you thought you had run out. I say things like, I'll find $5, just 5 rupees. Okay, not even $5, or 5 rupees. I'll find it in my purse where I'll go, randomly, because I'm a woman, so I have little pockets right inside my purses for different things. And sometimes I'll find money, like $10, and I'll go, how about that? Now, other people think, what? It's $10, big deal. Does that really make that big of a deal? Should I wait till I find 1 lakh? At what point in time do we decide our own happiness? $5 is $5, more than what I had earlier in that little pocket that I thought, found it, I'm happy. So small things make a big, beautiful life. Going back to remember what I said earlier, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. Therefore, positive leaders are the popular leaders because people want to feel good when they're around them. People want to feel hopeful. You guys are all going to be the leaders of the next generation. You guys are going to be the people that are shaking and stirring the world. You guys are going to be the ones that are super achievers. And therefore, it is extremely important for you to become the kind of leaders that people want to be around, that you want to be around, and that you enjoy your own company. So why is a motivated and positive mindset important for growth? What is growth? You can grow on a daily basis. One of the exercises yesterday, I told one of my teammates that an exercise I've been doing since I was about 14 something years old is that, and I read this in a book by Leo Buscaglia, that he did it because his father did it. His father used to ask him at the dinner table, what did you learn today? Leo Buscaglia wrote that if we did not know a fact that we could tell our father at dinner time, my sister and I would look it up in the encyclopedia. So when I read that, because you can learn from anything and everything, I decided I would do that with my life. So to this day, I've been doing it since I was 14 years old. To this day, every night I ask myself, what did I learn today? I do that every night. So I was talking to my teammate last night and I said, so we were talking about this and I don't know why I remember to say that. It's so automatic. I don't even think about it. I don't even remember that I do that. So I said, I learned a new song. I love music. I love books, as you can see behind me. I love music. And so yesterday I learned to sing a new song. I listen to a lot of old Hindi songs. I don't listen to new Hindi songs. And so this is a new song and I learned how to sing it because I really liked how sweet it was. So I learned something that day. I learned something about myself yesterday. There was I think there was 5 to 6 things I learned yesterday. That's how it rolls. You just have to pay attention. It's there. You don't have to overwhelm yourself and say, but I don't know how to sing. But you have other skills that somebody else don't, that other people don't have. You have a unique mindset. Every single one of us does. It is your job to find out how you tick, how you function, and then appreciate that. Polish it. What we don't do is we don't polish ourselves. We polish our skills. We up our skills. Sure, I'm a better public speaker than I was when I was 14 years old. I upped my skill. But what about me? Am I a better person than when I was a 14-year-old? Do I polish myself? I personally polish myself every day. One of the reasons that I do that exercise. What did I learn today? The other exercise I do several times a day, as I told you, is my gratitude. My gratitude does not have to be, okay, now I'm sitting down, it's 4 o'clock, I got to sit down and go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't do that. Gratitude is a small thing. Listening to a beautiful song that I'd forgotten I liked before. Kishore Kumar is the love of my life. If there was ever a man I've ever loved, it's Kishore Kumar. I hear him and I'm just happy and I'm so grateful for my ears and the fact that my parents gave me good taste in music. Your gratitude could be anything and it can be everything. So gratitude is extremely important. How do we grow? By doing the small things again and again in a consistent manner that help us grow. The right things that help us grow. And then the wrong things, the negative things, the things that don't work for us will fall away. For instance, you're trying to lose weight, or at least I'm trying to get healthy, right? Instead of worrying about, oh my God, how much do I need to lose? What I need to worry about is I need to up my physical activity and I need to up my nutrition. That's it. What I do. Don't need to worry about what I don't. It will take care of itself. If I focus on eating only nutritious food, right? I don't have to worry about, I shouldn't eat pizza. Because what happens is now I'm thinking I'm deprived. I can't eat pizza? Wait, I don't want to diet then. But what about I can eat amazing foods? That's our mindset. Focus and recreate and reprogram yourself. When a computer glitches, right? When there's a virus, and a lot of us have wait, I'm not talking about coronavirus. Okay, maybe virus is the wrong thing to say in this pandemic, but you get me, right? When we have a virus inside a computer, right? What do? They have to first get rid of it. If there are programs that are infected, they have to delete those programs. And then they have to put in the programs that would work. So we do that with a piece of machine, but we don't do that with ourselves. There are people in our lives that are the negative people that will completely infect our mindset. They're the kind of people that will be dream stealers. They are the kind of people that will criticize your finger while you're pointing out a beautiful moon. You need to be aware of it and maybe try to get rid of it, or maybe disengage with them as much as you can. There are thoughts that we all have that we need to change. People with growth mindsets are the ones that will concentrate on what needs to be done, and then everything else falls away. You need to start taking challenges more as opportunities. When I say that, everything is a challenge until it becomes second nature to us. I did not know how to do what I'm doing now until I did it. It's an opportunity to learn. And we need to stop seeking approval and validation from an external source. That's why our mindset is so important. Forget about failing. Forget about faltering. And start concentrating on learning. So how do you become much more confident? How do you become much more powerful? How do you become much more independent? Simple. Have a growth mindset. Don't concentrate so much on the errors that you have committed, on the mistakes that you've made, and start moving forward. When we are truly confident, we have belief and we have faith in not just our mindset, but in our abilities, in our skills. In the college to corporate model, I also tell people that instead of worrying about, but ma'am, we don't have experience. We're college students. We don't have experience. I tell them to write down a set of skills that they have and then think about how that can be applied in their resume, in their placement. And I teach them how to do that. You have a lot more skills and a lot more knowledge than you give yourself credit for. Become really, really connected with your strengths and your capabilities. If you need to learn something, learn it. But you don't have to beat yourself up about it. Become independent. Again, I want you to concentrate so much on your strength, yourself, your abilities, and your positivity that stop seeking validation and approvals from other people. You will know when you're doing all the right things. Sometimes validation never comes. And sometimes we seek it from the wrong sources. So you need to have belief in yourself. As we talked about our powerful mindset, our positive and motivated mindset, the impact and why it is important to have that, let's revisit about the fact that if we consistently do that, it has an impact on our thoughts, our actions, our interactions, and our results. And when we as human beings are feeling more hopeful, more faithful, we're feeling more positive, we will exert more efforts. And that's why it is extremely important that in the academic world, the faculty, the teachers, they motivate kids instead of intimidate kids. So students with growth mindsets don't look at roadblocks and they don't look at criticism. They look at feedback and they look at opportunities for growth. Ask yourself, what kind of mindset do you have? Do you have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? After everything I have said, what kind of mindset do we want to have? A growth mindset. Because that which does not grow decays. You know, you hear that saying, use it or lose it. That is very true for our skills, our mind, our thinking. They say to older people that you should do puzzles, you should play games. The reason being, because once you retire, maybe you have less interactions, whatever, you don't use your brain for certain solving of problems anymore. Problem solving skills go down. Decision making skills go down. That's why they want the older generation to do more puzzles, more crosswords, play more games. Surgeons will play like Call of Duty kind of games because it helps them up their skill of making decisions on the spot, quick reflexes, those kind of things. So growth mindset is basically our opportunity for use it or lose it. Our preoccupation with failure needs to go away, and our eagerness for discovery, learning, skill sets needs to come into play. And then stop being unreasonably dependent on others to validate you, pat you on the back, or to approve you. Life is not a popularity contest. Life is all about purpose. Be purpose-driven, not popularity-driven. How do you develop a motivated mindset to become more powerful? As I've already been talking about it, define the goal that you want to achieve. Now, if you are in college, maybe write down what kind of grades you want to have, what kind of skills you want to have. Public speaking is one of the things you need to learn so that it makes life so much easier for you later on. What kind of skills do you want to have? Public speaking being one of the examples. Then, how will you get there is also an important thing. I want to become a really good public speaking, public speaker. However, I'm not willing to speak. That's not how it works. Okay, you
Hello, everyone. My name is Rehan Mamin, and I'm from the Dynamic Training Institute. We've just had some technical error because of which Miss Tina has been logged out, but she'll just be joining back in a couple of minutes. So, just to go over what exactly was even covered, what is the importance of a motivated mindset is something that Miss Shah has emphasized over a long period of time. And the reason why I say that is because when we are generally going through our teenage years, and I can say this from my experience, that a lot of times it feels that we don't know exactly what exactly are we supposed to do, what exactly is our passion, or what exactly are we looking for that gives us a lot of happiness. However, the uncertainty that comes with being a teenager eventually will go away once you try out different things, once you take on new opportunities. And you're only able to take on new opportunities once you're confident, once you feel that you have the ability to take on those activities and actually go ahead and do really well. So, the reason why you want a motivated mindset is so that once you have the motivated mindset, you can actually end up becoming the kind of person where you will be able to take on different opportunities and actually succeed. So I'll just be sharing the presentation that Ms. Tina was covering. Just give me a second, please. Would my screen be visible?
Yes, yes, Mr. Reddy. Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right. So we were on the 10th slide, correct? Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So, like the point has been stated out here, that feel truly confident when you're sure of yourself and your abilities. A lot of time, what ends up happening is because of the uncertainty of I'm trying something new. How am I going to actually be able to do it? That becomes one of our biggest self-limiting beliefs. There have been several times that I have come across opportunities, but I've thought to myself that will I actually be able to do this really well? And we end up focusing so much on the result instead of focusing on the process of finding different versions of ourselves, understanding how exactly we are capable of the way that we can take on new opportunities and deal with them. And it paralyzes us to an extent where we feel that, okay, we are not going to end up doing this and we're not going to be able to have the results that we want. So it's better not to do it at all. So when you become powerful, confident, and independent, you will start to see that you will truly take on opportunities and you will go ahead with them because you know that failure is part of the process, but it does not mean it's an end. The other point, be powerful by connecting with your strengths and capabilities and trusting them to see through a situation. A lot of times, one of the biggest things that you can see, which is a very common trait among some of the most successful people in business, is by making sure that they have the right kind of belief system. A belief system is where you will have people that will doubt that you have the capability to do something, or or there will actually be a number of times when you yourself will doubt yourself. But having a really strong belief system will allow you to make sure that no matter what the situation is, no matter what the circumstances are, sorry,
Am I here?
yes.
All right. Okay. Did I shut off my presentation? Is my presentation over?
Uh,
Please still see it.
Ma'am, Udesh.
Right? Okay. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, ma'am, we will do one thing. We will take the questions because we are having a short of the time. So the one question, that are the two questions are the similar. The questions are the similar. One is question is
Okay.
that how to stay positive. Okay, how to stay positive. Another question is the same, like create to increase to be self-motivated? What are the habits?
Udesh, I can't hear you. You're breaking up. Possible to write the question?
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yeah, you are now.
Okay, there are these two questions. Both are the same. That how to stay positive. Another question is that what habits can I create to increase to be self-motivated?
Okay. So, how do you stay positive? So, like I said earlier, we notice the small things that happen in our life, and we have greater appreciation for it. Okay. Um, people think that being positive and being motivated is like some magical formula that I'll wave a wand and I'll become motivated. The reason that it is extremely important to keep working on remaining motivated, on being motivated, is just like because, as Zig Ziglar said, that being motivated is like taking a shower. You have to keep doing it again and again for it to work. So, how do you become much more positive and much more motivated, and how do you motivate yourself? Is simply by appreciating the small things that you have, the small things you know, the skills that you have, the opportunities you have, the support system you have, and then making it a habit. The habit of gratitude will lead you to have the habit of positive and motivated mindset. So, Hitesh, did that answer your question?
Yes, yes. Ma'am, actually, the questions asked by the students are already covered by you. Okay, and due to the short of the time, we will end our session. Yeah. Okay. So, ma'am, I think your presentation was, I think, down to earth. That is awesome presentation prepared by you for our students. Thank you for speaking to our students. The students who,
Thank you for inviting
yeah,
me.
the students who attended your presentation and the session really enjoy. I appreciate what you are taking your busy schedule to speak to the students and our organization members, faculty members. Once again, I am thankful for you for accepting our request for the webinar, and I will thank to everyone who really attended our session. Appreciate their busy schedule. They are attending the session, and thank you very much
Thank you so much. Thank you. Umesh, I think the team will also send the link for the workbook.
Yeah.
So that you can just send it to everybody, whether they had an opportunity to attend or not. I think that they will really benefit from the workbook. So you're welcome to send it to anybody and everybody.
Yeah, those who are not attended, that's why we are recorded the video and it will be uploaded to the Facebook and YouTube also.
Done. All right. Thank you again. I really appreciate it, and please thank your team on my behalf as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Rehan. Bye bye. Jiten sir, we are completed. Jiten sir.